Sheffield United with an all-important victory this past weekend to remain in the top 2 spots. But what's going to go on in a double match week? We're going to take a look at that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today is all about match number 37, that's right, in the Championship, and we'll get to it in a second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe button. You want to stop shop for Blackburn Rovers, Championship, World Football. We're going to all hear under one roosty. That's right, Sheffield United keeping the heat on Leeds, of course, with that all-important victory over Preston North End. Meanwhile, Derby got their massive win, didn't they, against Blackburn? Of course they did. Of course they bloody did, to boost their relegation hopes as well. Meanwhile, the race for the playoffs is still hot to bloody trot. Who knows what's going to go on this midweek? Let's take a look at that, of course, in a second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons. What we're going to do now, though, is, of course, look back at those predictions, which, of course, were shit, and then look forward to the next round of games. So sit tight, hold on. We're going to get into it right here, right now. So I'm coming at you right here, right now, ahead of the Portsmouth Leeds United match that's taking place on Sunday. I'm going to be driving at that point, and then I'm going to be out of sorts for Monday. So we don't know. Of course, I may or may not update this graphic, but probably not. But anyway, let's take a look at the results. Norwich, of course, slipped up a little bit against Oxford. 1-1 draw for them. I went with a 2-0 win. Coventry with a 3-2 win over Stoke. It looked like it was going to be a draw, but no, Coventry got that fight right now. Millwall with a massive win over Watford. 2-1 win for them, denting Watford's own playoff hopes. Bristol City and Hull City did duke out to a 1-1 draw, got the one bang on the nose. Burnley with a 4-0 win over Luton, who looked toast, and with a 3-0 win. Derby did beat Rovers. Goodness gracious me, absolute shit show by Rovers, and they deserve a steward's inquiry because we were that shit. Meanwhile, Sheffield Wednesday with a 3-0 win over Plymouth. Of course they did. Sheffield United with a 1-0 win over Preston North End to boost their title hopes as well. Sunderland with a 2-1 win over Cardiff. They're still in the top 4 mixer. And Swansea with a valuable 1-0 win over Borough, boosting matey boys Alan Sheeran's hopes of getting the job on a permanent basis. West Brom also picked up a 1-0 win over QPR to maintain their top 6 dreams. So that is that. Of course, we still got the Portsmouth Leeds match to come to a result there, but the situation looks like this. These will be in the top 2. They probably will be top unless something absolutely catastrophic happens. So it'd be pretty much as you are with Portsmouth. If they're likely to get a win, could go up. Well, they can't go up and they can't really go down. The only way they can go down is if they get absolutely thumped, which could be a case. Anyway, that's the situation there. I'm not going to give you an update with the Super Brew. Just do your thing, guys. Keep doing your thing because I am busy, hitting the road very, very soon. So these are the next round of games coming at you this midweek. So it's a double match week, of course, which could really change the face of the top of the table and the bottom of the table, and of course those illustrious top 6 playoff hopes. So we're going to kick it all off with a trip to Turdmore. It is Burnley, it is West Brom. Of course, Burnley under Scotty Parker, 75% form for them right now. Still sit 3rd in the table. 1 defeat in the last 6 matches up against West Brom under Tony Mowbray. Also 1 defeat in the last 6 matches. They played 25 times since 1994. 5 wins Burnley, 9 wins West Brom. There's been 11 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at Turdmore, it was a 2-1 win for Burnley way back in January 2023. The reverse fixture at the Hawthorns was a 0-0 draw. Goodness gracious me. In fact, for the last 5 have ended up all square between these two sides, with Burnley winning the only match in that 5. Burnley on the back of that 4-0 win over Luton. Of course, West Brom with a 1-0 win over QPR was the penalty. They did all they could, with, of course, 10 men as well. Meanwhile, the odds on this one, they'll back Burnley. Of course, they will. I'm going with a 3-1 win for Burnley. Unfortunately, Mowbray's boys taking an L, which might boost the chasing pack in the playoff hunt. Meanwhile, Cardiff against Luton. What a relegation 6-pointer we have here over in Wales. Cardiff City under Omar Ritza. 3 defeats on the spin. They sit 21st. 36 points for the season. Just 1 win in the last 6. Up against Luton Town under Matt Bloomfield. Just 1 win also in the last 6. They are 23rd with 31 points. That's right. Played each other 15 times in 2002. 6 wins Cardiff. 7 wins Luton. 2 draws between the two sides. Last time around in Wales, it was a 2-1 win for Luton way back in August 2022. The reverse fixture at Kenilworth Road was also a 1-0 win for Luton. Have won 4 in the spin against Cardiff. They could make it 5 here. Cardiff on the back of that 2-1 loss to Sunderland. Burnley, of course, Tonkin Luton 4-0 last time around, also losing a man in that last game. So there was suspension to be dealing with. Looking at the odds for this one, of course, you would fancy, I don't know, actually, this is quite tight. Bookies also think it's quite tight. Just about give it a Cardiff on this one. Luton looking a little bit lost. I'm going with the 1-1 draw. Doesn't really separate anybody. Sitting on the fence, pointing the bag as well. Meanwhile, Derby County up against Coventry City, coming to at Pride Park, fresh off the back of that victory over Blackburn Rovers. The John Eustace Derby. I hate him. I absolutely hate the guy. 22 points for the 22nd in the table, 32 points for the campaign. Up against Coventry under Frank Lampard, who've won 5 on the bloody spin. They sit 5th right now, 56 points for the campaign. 35 times they've played since 1996, 12 wins apiece and 11 draws. Last time around, over at Pride Park, it was a 1-1 draw way back in March 2022. The reverse fixture, a 2-1 win for Derby at Coventry way back in November. What are we looking at here? So Derby on the back of that 2-1 win over Rovers. Of course, Coventry with that lastminute.com winner over Stoke in the Mark Robbins derby. The odds for this one then, shall we? Of course, the bookies will go with Coventry at Derby. Of course, can they get it right on the night? I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think the tails will be up Derby. They'll make sure that home form counts. And of course, this could be a massive point in the bag for them and saving their season. And I do honestly think now that Eustace fiasco is over, I think they're going to get their heads down and they're going to start to get more points in the bag. Meanwhile, Middlesbrough need a result as well up against QPR. Coming to the Riverside, it's the Dang Derby, right? It's the Senny Dang Derby. The goalkeeper. Michael Carrick's boys, 9th for the table, 50 points for the campaign. 4 defeats in the last 6 up against QPR and Marty Sofientes, who are 14th in the table, and they've lost 3 on the spin. Goodness gracious me. They played each other 27 times since 1995. 12 wins Borough, 11 wins for QPR. There's been 4 draws. Last time around over at the Riverside, it was a 2-0 win for QPR back in September 2022. The reverse fixture at Loftus Road was a 4-1 win for Borough back in November. Borough, though, on the back of that 1-0 loss to Swansea. QPR on the back of that 1-0 loss to West Brom. Both sides need a result and fast. The odds for this one, though, Middlesbrough, of course, hotly tipped. Should do it at the Riverside. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Michael Carrick's boys. And if not, I think the axe will come down on Middlesbrough's manager's head. Meanwhile, Sunderland against Preston North End coming at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland still keeping up the heat. The 4th in the table, 68 points for the season on back-to-back wins. Up against Preston, Paul Heckingbottom's boys, fresh off the back of that party mode win in the FA Cup. They've just won once, though, in the last 6. They played Sunderland 15 times in 2003. 4 wins for the Mackems, 7 wins for the Nobbers, and there's been 4 draws. Preston all the way down to 16th with 43 points. And last played, these two sides, at the Stadium of Light, was a 2-0 win for Sunderland. It was back in New Year's Day 2024. The reverse fixture at Deepdale was a 0-0 draw. In fact, what are we looking at here? Back-to-back games, Preston are unbeaten against Sunderland. Including they played them twice already this season, back-to-back clean sheets against Sunderland as well. But both those games were at Deepdale. Preston on the back of that 1-0 loss to Sheffield United. They haven't scored in the last 2 games. Sunderland on the back of that successive 2-1 wins over in the last couple of matches there. The bookies odds for this one, Sunderland massively fancied. Of course they are. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win as well to maintain that top 4 push. And who knows, maybe getting that automatic plan back on track. Norwich City up against Sheffield Wednesday coming at Carrow Road. Norwich under Jonas Torup, just 1 win in the last 6. They're 10th for the table, 49 points for the season. Up against Wednesday, the Danny Roll on the back of just 1 win in the last 4. They sit 13th with 48 points. They played each other 31 times since 1993. 10 wins Norwich, 12 wins Wednesday, 9 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at Sheffield Wednesday, it was a 2-0 win way back in November. That was a reverse fixture. Last time they played at Carrow Road, it was a 3-1 win for Norwich back in December. Norwich on the back of that successive 1-1 draws, drawing with Rovers and then drawing with Oxford. Wednesday, though, on the back of that 3-0 away win to Plymouth. Again, Wednesday fans seem to say their away form is much, much better than their home form. So this could go a different way than you would expect. The bookies are backing Norwich to get back to winning ways. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win as well. They've got the firepower. I just don't know what went wrong at Norwich, at Oxford, when they took on Oxford. So 2-0 winners, Norwich back to winning ways. Meanwhile, Sheffield United against Bristol City, coming at Bramall Lane. That's right, trying to maintain their top 2 push here, maybe even their top title push. Sheffield United under Chris Wilder, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They won in the previous 5. They sit 2nd right now, 76 points for the campaign. Up against Bristol City under Liam Manning, unbeaten in the last 5. They're still 7th, and they're well and truly in that playoff mixer. They played 26 times since 1994. 16 wins for Sheffield United, 8 wins for Bristol City. There's been 2 draws between the two sides. Last time around, over at Bramall Lane, it was a 1-0 win for Sheffield United back in April 2023. The reverse fixture, a 2-1 win for Sheffield United at Thrashton Gate back in November. The Blades have won 3 on the spin against Bristol City. They're unbeaten, in fact, the last 6. Could be more than that. Bristol City on the back of that 1-1 draw against Hull. And Sheffield United with a 1-0 win over Preston. The odds for this one, Sheffield United should win this game. I'm going with a 3-1 win as well to keep them in there well and truly on track for that top 2 spot. Let's hop into Wednesday's games, are we? Yes, right. Portsmouth against Plymouth. Of course, Portsmouth has yet to play their Monday game against Leeds. Sorry, the Sunday game against Leeds. Taking on Plymouth in the Navy Derby. Of course, Ports in both Portsmouth and Plymouth at Fratton Park this time around. John Mousinho's boys, 17th for the table, 39 points for the season. They won 3 of the last 4. Against Plymouth under Miriam Musilic. Winless now in the last 6. They look doomed right now. Of course, all those motivational videos don't seem to be going anywhere right now for Plymouth. 23 times they've played since 2008. 5 wins Pompey, 7 wins Plymouth, 11 draws between the two sides. Last time around at Fratton Park, it was a 2-2 draw back in September 2022. The reverse fixture at Plymouth was a 1-0 win for Plymouth way back in November. Plymouth are actually unbeaten against Portsmouth over the last 6, so maybe, just maybe, they've got the psychological edge. Plymouth, though, on the back of that 3-0 loss to Sheff Wednesday, haven't scored in the last 2 games. Meanwhile, Portsmouth losing to Luton last time, taking on Leeds. Of course, they're expected to lose that game as well. The bookies' odds for this one probably will go with Portsmouth. They are definitely a decent side at home. I'm going with a 2-0 win. Unfortunately, Green Army look like they are sunk. Hull City up against Oxford coming into the MKM Stadium. Ruben Sellers' boys, 19th for the table, 37 points for the season. Just 1 defeat in the last 5. They're on 50% form. Up against Oxford under Gary Rowett, winless in the last 6 matches. In fact, they haven't won in the last 8. They're 18th for the table. They're well and truly on their way down right now. 7 times they've played since 2003. 2 wins Hull, 3 wins Oxford. 2 draws between the two sides. Last time around, of course, at the MKM, it was a 2-0 win for Hull back in March 2021. That was in League One. The reverse fixture, a 1-0 win for Oxford over Hull at the Kazam back in November. Hull on the back of that 1-1 draw against Bristol City. Norwich also drawing with Oxford 1-1. Same scoreline this past match day. The odds for this one, they'll go with Hull. Of course, the bookies backing them. Oxford not so much. 2-1 winners as well to get another win or another 3 points in the bag for Hull City. Let's go Leeds United against Millwall. Another match at Ellen Road. Leeds, of course, sitting top of the table as of right now, and they should be there no matter what. They're coming into this on the back of 1 defeat in the last 6 matches. That 1 defeat, I believe, was Millwall. We'll take a look at it in a minute. Millwall, though, on the back of 2 wins, 2 defeats, and 2 draws over the last 6. They are 12th, 48 points for the season. They played Leeds 32 times since 2004, and they are not too shabby. They've got a good record against them. They've won 13. Leeds have won 15. There's been 4 draws. They've already played each other twice this season, and Millwall have won both of them. 1-0 winners at the Den back in November. That was in the reverse fixture. Also in the FA Cup at Ellen Road back at the start of February. It was a 2-0 win for Millwall. So back-to-back wins, back-to-back clean sheets. Ain't too shabby. Millwall, though, on the back of that 2-1 win over Watford. Massive win for them. Leeds could only draw with West Brom, of course, taking on Portsmouth this week. Still to be decided, that one. Leeds should win this one. They should get back to winning ways. Going to go with a 3-0 win, which kind of wipes out the aggregate if you're going to take a look at the 3 as a whole there. 3-0 winners makes it even Stevens on the goal scored anyway. And then into the final 2, we have Watford. We have Swansea coming out of the Vicarage Road. Watford under Tom Cleverley still 50% form for them right now. 1-2 lost to and drawn to over the last 6. They still sit 11th, 49 points for the season. Up against Swansea under Alan Sheeran, unbeaten now in the last 3 matches. They're 15th with 44 points for the season. Well and truly upwards trajectory for Alan Sheeran. They played 21 times since 2008. 8 wins for Watford, 9 wins Swansea. 4 draws between the two sides, including a draw last time they played at Vicarage Road back in March 2024, around about this time last season. Swansea also picked up the reverse fixture, 1-0 winners it was back in November in Wales. Swansea, though, on the back of that 1-0 win over Borough, back-to-back clean sheets. In fact, they got 3 clean sheets on the spin. Millwall, though, with that impressive 2-1 away win to Watford. The bookies on this one will give it, they'll give it to Watford, but only just. This could be a draw, guys. I'm going with a 1-1er. Another point in the bag for Swansea, and then Watford as well. And then finally, we go to the Sam Gallagher derby. Goodness gracious me. Stoke under Mark Robbins, 25% form for them right now, up against Blackburn and Valérien Ismaël, of course, winless in the last 3 matches. Stoke winless in the last 4. They sit 20 with 36 points up against Blackburn, who are 8th with 52 points. They played 23 times in 2008. Stoke have the major advantage, 12 wins to Blackburn 7. There's been 4 draws between the two sides. Last time around, of course, at Stoke, it was a 3-0 win for Blackburn. Am I seeing that right? Back in November 2023, it was a 3-0 win for Blackburn, who've won 2 out of the last 3. Stoke won the reverse fixture at Ewood Park back in November, 2-0 win as it was. Heading into this one. Stoke on the back of that 3-2 loss against Coventry. Good fight from them to get back into it. 2-0 down to 2-2. Unfortunately, they couldn't get into it. As for Rovers, absolutely shocking against Derby. Embarrassing to say the least. The odds for this one, of course, quite tight. Give it just to Stoke, don't they? Could be a draw. Smells like a draw. But I'm going to back my boys somehow. I don't know where I'm getting this from because I was absolutely livid after the game. I think we'll get a result here. 2-1 win. I think they're a little bit weak at the back. And I think if Emmanuel Dennis can start in place of Cargbo or something like that, we might be able to get an early goal to cause them some problems. That's my take on it, guys. And if I'm right, this is what the table will look like whatever thereabouts. Of course, Rovers still in the mixer if we can get the win. Of course, then Cardiff to follow up. But going down, still Derby, still Luton, still Plymouth. But of course, it is quite tight at the moment. That's, of course, my take on it, guys. Of course, we'll bring you an update with a Super Brew very soon. I don't know when it will be, but just keep doing your thing. Smash the like, smash the subscribe. We'll see you soon. Until then, we are done.